The continual disregard for Bernie Sanders on MSNBC was astounding. The disregard for Elizabeth Warren, making her invisible on MSNBC, was also disheartening. But you know what? It's always great to see when you have a particular reporter that bucks the system, a particular reporter that says, you know what? I am just going to tell it like it is. And in Chris Hayes, that is exactly what we got. That is exactly what we got.
I think you've seen the Sanders campaign aware that what works in a Democratic primary is a message of hope. And I think you've seen them pivot more towards that. In fact, the ads they've been cutting down the stretch have been about hope, right? It's sort of the idea of a better future. And I think they understand very well how much this sort of sense of there is something better on the horizon is a motivator. I think Chris is right for Democrats, right? And I think they have been aware of that. The one thing I would say about tonight, I think if you're the Sanders camp, you probably want it, well, you definitely want to win outright. You probably wanted to hit 30% as your benchmark. But on the other side of this, I think it's useful to think about three things that are necessary right now to compete in this field. One is you got to perform in the early states, right? We're watching what happens if you don't put up good numbers in the contests. It's like a shark. It's got to keep moving through water. You got to keep posting some sort of victories. It is hard to go for a long time without one, as Joe Biden says. You got to be able to do that. You got to have the money and organization to play nationally, because you're going to have almost half the delegates awarded on Super Tuesday 3 days after South Carolina. And you got to put together a multiracial coalition. Right now, Bernie Sanders is the only candidate in the race that is doing those three things. I mean, if you look at the polling in places like California and nationally, he's building a multiracial coalition. He's got one victory in Iowa, or a shared victory with Pete Buttigieg. He's got a good performance tonight, whether that comes down, and he's got a lot of money in the organization. There is no under candidate at this point, as I speak to you at 10-12, who is checking all three of those boxes. There are some that are checking 2 of 3, but right now there's only one candidate in the race that's checking all 3.
Now, you listen to the narrative on TV, they would make you believe that Bernie Sanders is not building a multiracial, multicultural coalition. The fact of the matter is, the crosstabs say that he is. And as Chris Hayes said, he's the only candidate right now that's checking the boxes off on all 3.